This is a short video because I found something really exciting. I have had seasonal allergies for way too long, but I discovered two things that actually helped me put an end to seasonal allergies, and I want to share them with you. The first is Deepak Chopra's 7 Steps to Healing. Now, this was phenomenal, and it really helped me relieve allergies. So obviously, it's taking for granted that you have an emotion attached to your seasonal allergy. And if you can remember when they began, um, I was able to, I couldn't pinpoint it. That was a long time ago, but you may be able to. But even if you can't pinpoint it, you will probably be able to know what was going on at the time when you started allergies. And I guarantee you there was an emotion involved in it. So I will use myself as an example to show you how Deepak Chopra's healing technique helps you to release the emotion attached to your seasonal allergies. So the very first step in doing this with Deepak Chopra is to take responsibility for what you're feeling. So with seasonal allergies, it's kind of easy to take responsibility for them. Just catch yourself if you are blaming anyone or anything for your situation and stop doing it. Don't blame, just accept that you have them and take responsibility for them. It's like taking responsibility for your own well-being and not putting it off on an event or a person. The second step is to actually feel the feelings you have when you have a seasonal allergy. And again, this is quite easy. I had 2 sets of feelings. The first was the feeling, the actual bodily feeling of an allergy. Runny nose, oh my God, red runny nose, watery, itchy eyes, scratchy throat, sneezing, and sometimes even coughing and stuffiness. These are all things that I associated with and could feel in regards to my body and seasonal allergies. The second thing I could feel was a sense of frustration over them. The frustration that I could not get rid of them. I felt powerless. I trust going to a doctor and getting a prescription, and then they became over the counter and all that. And I still had seasonal allergies. What are you going to do? So there was a tremendous sense of frustration over that for me. And that was my second emotion I experienced. And then the third thing you want to do is you want to close your eyes. So if you have the opportunity right now to close your eyes and always take a nice slow breath in and exhale slowly with your eyes closed. And ask yourself, what am I feeling right here, right now, that's related to these allergies? In my case, I was feeling powerless to do anything about them. So now what I want you to do for step number 4 is I want you to express out loud to yourself exactly what was happening, how you in that time that you started to get allergies. So I'll give you an example. For me, to express how I was feeling is I was truly feeling powerless because my mom was feeling sick and unwell, and she didn't have the joy. She was concerned about how she was feeling, I guess. And for me, I felt so sad and powerless to do anything to make her feel better. Um, And because of that, and I felt powerless to be an advisor to her. This, the second person involved in this, of course, was my mom. And the object of the game here for Deepak is for you to step in her shoes, pretend you're her and how she's feeling and what she's going through. So I stepped into my mom's shoes and I realized she was feeling very fearful, very upset and concerned about why she was feeling sick like this, and wondered what would happen better, what was going on. This was so distracting for my mom. And yeah, she definitely had some fears about this. And the third person involved was my dad. And my dad drinking. And I knew he was drinking, and it wasn't social drinking, it was drinking. And there he was. So now I have to step into the shoes of my dad. And as I did, I pretended I was my dad, and I realized how committed to my mom my dad was. And he felt such pain that she wasn't feeling well. And in reality, he knew she had cancer and she didn't. And he didn't want to tell her. And it was really an uncomfortable, awful position for him to be in. This was his partner for years and years. And if my mom died, it would leave a huge hole in his life. And I think the drinking and pretending I was him, the drinking was there to numb all this. Yeah, and it just got out of control. So those were the three sides. Sometimes you only have two, you and someone else, or you in a situation or something. But I happen to have three people involved in this. And the next step is to report this whole scenario as if you're a reporter, a neutral reporter from the Washington Post, reporting on what was happening. And I did that. And I looked at the situation of the three of us, and I looked at myself as a young person, teenager, trying desperately to understand what was going on and wanting so much to be of help and feeling absolutely powerless to do anything. Then there was my mom, who was feeling very uncomfortable physically and a lot of fear and concern about what would happen in the future. And then there was my dad, who knew what was going on, but he didn't want to share it, and he had to numb it somehow, so he was drinking. So that was my situation. And, actually, after I did that, I felt a tremendous shift, a tremendous emotional shift. And it was terrific. I mean, not terrific for the incident, but I began to let it go. So once I was done all that, I think it's, the fifth step is to share this experience with someone you trust. And that was my partner. And I shared it with him, and he was fine with that and actually learned things about me he didn't know. And then once you do that, I think it's a sixth step, you create a ritual to get rid of all this. And so I wrote it all down on a piece of paper, and I burned it in the fireplace. You could bury it outside, or my daughter used this, and very successfully, by the way. And her ritual was to put it all in a ball, sort of a bubble, and then blow up the bubble. And she felt so much better. And then the final and seventh step is to celebrate that you did it. And I did, and it was great. And so that was the beginning of the movement of the emotion of powerlessness for me. Now, the second thing I did that really helped, since I knew I had an emotional cause for these allergies, I chose EFT tapping as a modality to help me to move along with it. I researched it, I tried a lot of tappings, and I ended up with two that I thought were phenomenal, and I'm going to recommend both of them to you. One is Julie Schiffman's tapping on seasonal allergies, and she sort of centers on balance in your life and being able to adapt to adverse situations and things like that. And you can go online and try that. The second one was Nick Ortner using Louise Hay's wonderful affirmation. And let me read it to you because I think this is a great affirmation, and you can heal your life. And it's, the world is a safe and friendly place. I am safe and at peace in my life. A great affirmation. So keep that affirmation, in the back of your mind, and then begin the tapping with that affirmation. And of course, always take responsibility for your own life and your own healing with this. And what I'll do is I will do an audio tapping if you want to do it. This is my version of it, but if you've ever tapped before, you know that it's wise to just sub in your feelings for different areas rather than using mine. But this is my tapping. It's based on Nick Ortner's, which was so very successful. And please go to Nick Ortner's, thetappingsolution.com. For any of his great tappings. This one just happened to be extraordinary for me. And then use my tapping below. I'll do an audio and I will also do the script so you can tap with the script. And then please celebrate the success you're going to have in getting rid of seasonal allergies. Now, admittedly, this took me 3 days. And I was intense about it. Anytime a symptom would start to come up, like the itchy nose, itchy eyes, I would just excuse myself, sit down, and tap through it. It worked. So I recommend this to you, and good luck. And see below this video for the instructions on tapping. So take care and good luck with this. I know you'll be successful.